Welcome back to the Chicago Building Congress. Before we begin, we'll take a look at what we've been up to and what's coming up next for the CBC. In September, we hosted our Idea Panel discussing how diversity drives growth and success in our organizations. And most recently, we held our annual Economic Update featuring industry insights and discussion on recent trends in construction. Save the dates for these upcoming CBC events in 2024. On April 18th, a joint networking event with BCOE at Topgolf Naperville. The CBC Golf Classic is on June 10th, and our premier annual event, the CBC Merit Awards, is coming up on May 9th. For the latest on these and more upcoming CBC events, visit chicagobuildingcongress.org. Today, we recognize one of our own, as Stan Pepper receives the CBC Award of Honor. We'll hear from Stan's closest friends and colleagues to celebrate Pepper Construction's achievements in the city of Chicago. We'd like to thank today's Platinum event sponsors, Enterprise Fleet Management and Pepper Construction.
It's about relationships, not transactions. We empower our employees to learn about our clients' needs and then let us know what recommendations are going to best suit those clients' needs. Through strong relationships, we make recommendations that make our clients' businesses better. Once we do that, they trust us, they listen to us, they'll be clients forever, and that's what we want, clients forever.
For the better part of a century, it's been our responsibility and privilege to make the indoors beautiful, functional, and sustainable. What we build transforms neighborhoods, towns, and cities. But how we build has the potential to transform the world. We're building for our future and for future generations. Together, we can transform our tomorrow.
And as always, thanks to all of our CBC annual sponsors. It's your support that makes all of our programming possible. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed today's program.
Hello members, colleagues, sponsors, past and present award recipients, friends, and CBC family. The Chicago Building Congress Award of Honor is the highest personal achievement award that can be bestowed upon an individual in the Chicago building industry. Now going into its 28th year, this prestigious award recognizes the outstanding leader for his or her lifetime contributions to the art and science of construction. Thank you to all of you for joining us to honor this year's recipient, Stan Pepper of Pepper Construction. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Platinum level sponsor Pepper Construction and Enterprise Fleet Management, our meeting level sponsors, Jamerson Bowens and Bowens Electric, and our refreshment level sponsors, Glass Solutions and Chicagoland AGC. I would like to now introduce Rich Schuster. Rich?
Good afternoon. My name is Rich Schuster. I'm a 9-year board member of the Chicago Building Congress, and I'm a 39-year employee of Pepper Construction Company. I have the honor of introducing Stan Pepper, who quite frankly doesn't really need an introduction. Since 1927, the Pepper family has been serving clients and communities throughout the Chicagoland area and the Midwest. If you walk through Chicago, you won't find many places that haven't been impacted by the Pepper family. The Pepper family has set the bar high for all of us. It is my honor to introduce Stan Pepper. Didn't know there was stage. Thank you, Rich.
I thought I was going to eat lunch first, just so you know. So, a couple of quick things. So I have my tablet, and you guys must think I'm really high tech, but it's here to carry my notes that I have. So this is just going to be a quick round of thank yous for people that have affected our company and our life. There's some video coming too. I thought we were going to do that first, but I guess we're doing it after. So when Rich browbeat me into doing this, and this is not my favorite type of thing to do for sure. So I said, he said, you got to have some people do some video clips and talk about what you've done. So this is really an honor for me for sure, but also for the company and for the family. By the way, I'm a crier. I cry at every Tom Hanks movie. That was my daughter laughing at me, too. So anyway, I asked 5 people to say something. Gary Perinar with Carpenters down here is one I've asked. He's a good friend. We've known each other for a while. And we've been very active with the Carpenters going back to Richard and Roxy days and the graduation dinners they used to go. My mother's here with us today, 91. She's up and around and still giving me guidance on what to do and when to do it, which is great. Ken Edgety, I think, is in the video also. Ken was with us a number of years. I thought he was coming today, but he's not. Jacqueline Levine, a very good friend inside the company also, is there. I appreciate and now, since I haven't seen the video, I can thank you all really well. I don't care what you say. My brother Scott was going to be here. He's in the video also. He's got COVID, though, so he's recovering. It still hasn't gone away. And then Jim McShane, a really good friend of mine and a contractor extraordinaire, had some, I hope, some nice things to say. Who knows? We'll see. So anyway, I want to thank them. That's a really big honor for me. The other one inside the company, Shannon Guerra did a great job putting this all together from our point of view, getting all this stuff for CBC. And then I want to thank CBC also for, and Jan, thank you very much for doing this, and the rest of the board members. It's a reflection, I think, on the company from the point of view that you need to give back. If there's anything I've been taught through the years from Richard and Roxy is that you need to give back. So we've been very successful with a contractor, but we've always tried to give back. As Rich said, nine years here as a board member, including past president, Mike Stensland's here, Tim Cooper's here, all are involved in other organizations, so we try to spread it around. But you have to make an impact in the industry. You need to leave a legacy, and we need to keep improving what we have and how we do it. And everybody in this room is very good at that. I see a lot of people here, a lot of people in other dinners and functions. It's our job to improve this industry for the next generation, which, as I see here, the next generation is kind of moving into this room pretty well. So thank you all. I did want to thank my mom for sure. Her and Richard have been integral in my life, as you would expect. Richard is also was the if I don't break it, I'll be okay. Richard was also the first honoree at CBC, and this was still on his desk. So I thought I'd bring it down to share with everybody. So he passed on a legacy that we are still trying to fulfill and do our share of giving back. So my daughter Jamie, you heard, is here. My wife Chris, who gives me plenty of guidance most of the time, and good guidance, I should say, for sure. My son Jake and his wife Crystal are here. Jake is moving ahead in the organization and can't wait for me to move on. This is all good. And then Scott, who is not here. Scott and Ann were supposed to be here. as I said, he had COVID. He's in the video too. He's doing a great job running our Illinois operations and pushing me at the same time. So with that, I want to just say thanks to everybody here and thanks to CBC for this award. That's it. Thank you.
One of the primary reasons I love working at Pepper is the people, and I mean at all levels of the organization. Pepper has a very different culture. The emphasis really is on family. So it shouldn't really be surprising that Stan is people first, family first, and I watch him be very businesslike at work when he needs to be, but he just lights up when he talks about his grandchildren.
His father, Richard, was the National AGC president, was a leader in the construction industry throughout the United States. His brother, David, was president of the association for a while, and his younger brother, Scott.
Really, I look at him as a mentor, and our father passed away. Stan has taken over the company, and we are doing the same thing that my father did, except we've got different environments to do it. We're still looking at where our relationships are and growing our relationships, and we also look at how do we advance the industry so we can be more efficient in the built environment.
This is a relationship business, and building strong personal relationships is one of Stan's real strengths. Richard and Roxy really instilled that in our company years ago, and Stan has really carried on that tradition and is doing a fantastic job of doing that.
The whole family has been involved in the construction industry here in Chicago for a long time and have provided strong leadership. And in particular, I think Stan has provided leadership when things got tough, when we had some financial issues in the association, when we had some issues, people dropping out of the association. He was the one who came to really rescue the Builders Association, and I am forever grateful for what he did during that time.
We really looked at everybody, especially when COVID came. We needed to think differently, we needed to act differently, and we needed to build differently. We can't go back to the traditional ways that we were doing it. And he was a big advocate of pushing us in that direction and supporting me in pushing that agenda, because we can't go back to the way we used to build. It's completely different.
Even during the downtimes in the industry, he was really focused on our people and wanted to make sure everybody kept their jobs, and it was really with his drive that really kept the company going through that whole 2-year process.
It was March 2020. We were all faced with this thing that we had never seen before, and Stan decided the first thing we were going to do was a town hall call. And the first thing Stan said was, I don't want anyone to worry. As long as we can safely do our work, we would not be having any layoffs and any furloughs, and that we were just going to continue to support our teams in the field and keep them as safe as possible.
If you call him during a strike, you can have a very candid conversation about where we are as an industry, what we should be doing, and he's very generous with that. I also think that Stan has shown some tremendous integrity. He's been one of the negotiators with the carpenters. He's very candid, he's very open, and I think when you talk to Stan, what you see is what you get. And frankly, there's not a lot of that in the world today. So when you talk to Stan and you know what you're getting and you can take it from him, it's worthwhile.
Going back to his grandfather, his father, he has all those same characteristics. And one of the things that I like about Stan is, the Pepper family is not only working, for the last decades with the carpenters, but they're going to continue that legacy on in the future. Stan has really stepped up, and he's really innovative and stuff of the, outside the box thinking. He's a very intelligent person, and he's an easy guy to work with.
He really thinks outside the box, which helps us. And sometimes we get stuck in our own ways, in our old ways, and that's not advancing us where we need to go. And Stan's always looking at how do we advance not only our people, but also our industry. So when we look at it, when I go to him, he really helps me out to really think differently.
He's really been a forward thinker. Going back to when we first met, I could tell he was interested in technology. And when I started there, we had one computer per floor. Back in 1986, there really wasn't much technology to speak of. So I took it and started to drive it along with our IT department. And Stan was a big supporter of that. And before you knew it, we had computers throughout the company. And he even made sure that we drove it out to the field and got the field superintendents involved and more efficient on the job sites. Stan really saw that there was going to be an added value with our virtual construction. And our company has been a driver in the industry and really outspoken at the AGC conferences and ACE conferences in the city of Chicago.
Stan gives back not only to the people in our company, but to the industry and to his communities in a lot of different ways. The Pepper family is known for the charitable work that they do and the giving.
It's inherent within our family that we give back to the communities. The communities have given a lot to us, and we like to give back to the communities. That was instilled by my mom and my dad, and even before that, my grandma and grandfather prior to us. So. We have been partners with the Lincoln Park Zoo for a really long time. Mom and Dad really not only gave their time and effort, just recently it was the Lion House, where we also supported it financially to help get it over the line and build just a beautiful home for a pride.
They've been very positive and community giving, and they've sponsored organizations like the Boy Scouts, the American Heart Association, veterans organizations, the food banks. They've been very big supporters of the Carpenters Union, and they've always done it very quietly. They never really looked for any accolades at all, and that's always impressed me about the entire family. And Stan has continued to carry on that tradition.
Yeah, Stan is always instrumental in adding new ideas into the future of the Carpenters. And, sitting on numerous trust funds, apprenticeship funds, he always has a voice with respect to some of the things we're trying to accomplish, both as a union and working with labor management.
As all of us Peppers, we look at it's the people around us that build our company. It's not necessarily just the Peppers. There's only a certain amount of us that are involved, but we have great talent here, and we continue to thrive and find new talent that's going to take us into the next generation of building and how we're going to build. So whether that's technology, whether that's just people, but we're looking at what's the next generation of how do we bring computers into a computer-aided or the right people that's going to make us more efficient to be a better builder in the built environment.
The next generation it's always hard to understand. I have a daughter who's now running my company, and do we disagree on things? Absolutely. So the question about what's this industry going to look like in 20 years, well, the important thing is for young people to see somebody who has been successful in their career with integrity and honesty and really the kinds of things that people admire to get this award. I think that a lot of us have had an impact on the industry in a positive way, and I sure hope the next generation takes it to the next level. But I think they will, I think they can.
Stan's primary impact in Chicago, in this area, in the construction industry, is really just that empathy for people, but also that can-do attitude. He really loves to think expansively and try to brainstorm about how we can apply this to our business, but he quickly goes to the industry, what's next. And I think that's really an unusual trait, where we're in an industry where margins are tight and people are trying to get the competitive advantage, and it's just really nice to work with someone who cares beyond those borders.
I think this award of honor is important for people who've been well-rounded, who've not just been singular in their professional work. They've been involved in charities, they've been involved in helping the industry grow, and that's why I think Stan deserves this award and deserved it a long time ago, is that he has been very involved in the local communities, he's been very involved in lots of different things besides just running Pepper Construction. The people who are humble always say, oh, it shouldn't be me, it should be somebody else. And so it takes a lot of persuasion.
If I was to say what Stan's legacy would be, he wouldn't want me to say it was Stan's legacy. He would want to say that it's the Pepper legacy. And that's the way we are, whether it's being humble or whatever. It's not really. It's the legacy is of the Pepper company and the people. It's not one person that built this company. And there's not one person that goes out in the community. Everybody within our organization spends time out in the community. We promote it. And that's just inherent in the Pepper way. Stan would look at what's the legacy of the company.
It is my great pleasure to present this award to Stan Pepper.
I already said everything I had to say. To everybody in the video, thank you very much. It is a company-wide, industry-wide issue that we're facing. And I appreciate everybody's input here, too. Thanks. And thanks to Jim McShane.
Congratulations again, Stan, on behalf of the Board of Directors and the membership of the CBC and all of us here today. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I guess that's all for closing remarks. Enjoy the rest of your lunch, and we will have some continued networking. Thank you.